Welcome to video 4 of Pam's Love. Yeah, this is a little bit of a different perspective. It's going to be kind of neat. I'll show you what I'm up to when we come right back. Alright, as you can probably guess, we're at the router table. We're going to be cutting a slot right here on all 4 sides so that the back of the shadow box can rest in there. And unfortunately I got to have the vacuum running, so here we go. Well, alright, as you saw coming right at you, we machined this slot right in here, and that is going to be for the backer board, which will drop right inside there and it will lock in place. And so that was cut on all 4 sides. So after we get this all put together, then we'll figure out exact size that we want to cut this to. So hang on, we'll set up for the next batch of work. Well, alright, the next step in the process, as you can see, I've broken down the box, and what I want to do is I want to sand the inside of the box, because if it's all put together like this, I don't know if you can see this, but like this, if I were to try to run that sander all the way up to this edge right here, I would leave a ledge or a little ridge inside there, and you don't want to do that. So best thing to do is just take it apart, and we'll sand it while it's all apart. And the only part I'm doing right now is the inside portion of the box. I'm not worried about the edges or the back side. We can always get to those after it's put together. So we're going to do this side first. So what I do with my sander, I let the sander do the work. I do it in a nice slow process from right to left, left to right. I don't swirl it, and I put down just enough pressure on the top of the sander to keep it under control. Let the sandpaper do the work. You don't have to work. Here we go. Okay, one of the things that I want to do is right here, I feel a little ridge, and I can barely see it. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but there's a dark spot right there. What I want to do is I just want to take a pencil and just give me some lines in there, and then I'll do the whole board. What this does, this helps me make sure that I want to sand this till all those pencil lines are gone. And what I've done by running it over that spot where I know there's a little divot, when I sand that off, I'll stop partially. You'll see Most of this will be gone, but there'll be a little bit down the ridge, and that tells me how much more I need to remove. So here we go. Same paper. I can barely see some little sand mark or pencil lines in here, so I know I've got to take probably another pass or so, but I'll go ahead and finish this up here. So here we go. Okay, I still feel just a little bit right there, so we're going to mark it again. I'll put a good mark down there, and then we'll let it talk to us and tell us when it's good to go. All right, I like that. Nice and smooth. So I'm going to continue with the other boards. I'm not going to bore you with watching this sanding, although I love sanding. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these boards off camera, and when we come back, we'll be actually gluing the box up into position with the straps holding it in there, and my little 23 gauge brad nailer. So hang on, we'll be right back. Okay, I have all 4 insides of the boards sanded. I have them just sitting in the clamps. I don't like to use the clamps. It's just a personal choice. I don't like to use the clamps for my glue ups. I like to use my band straps. So this is basically extra hands to help hold things in place. So what I'm going to do is I'll take one out and I'll put glue on both sides of the 45-degree bevels. I will drop that back inside here. I'll pull the next one out, put the glue on it, and go all the way around. And then I will use my band straps to bring them in together and hold them in place. So I always do a little dry fit just to make sure, and I've already done that off screen, so I know that this is all going to work for me. So here we go. We're just going to peel it out, pour some glue on it, spread it out by hand. Now I also have handy some paper towel and some water, and that's going to allow me to clean up any squeeze out that we have, which we're going to have squeeze out. I actually like to see squeeze out on my wood projects. That way I know that I've gotten a good coverage. Okay. And you want full coverage on these beveled edges right here. This end grain tends to soak up the glue real quick, so we want to get full coverage. Okay. Now make sure I go back in my numbered sequence, which this is bevel 1, bevel 2, this is 2, I mean bevel 1 and bevel 1, this is bevel 2 and bevel 2. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm probably working way out of screen. This is Titebond 3. I'm sorry, Titebond 2 glue. It's my preferred glue of choice for all of my projects. Even on my cutting boards, it's good for it. See, I have a very expensive glue bottle. Just a water bottle with a hole through the cap. You don't need to spend $8 or $10 for a glue bot, in my opinion. They're nice. I've had them before, but it wasn't worth the money in my opinion. So when mine broke and wore out, I just replaced it with a water bottle and a hole in the lid. Works fine. Oop, almost dropped that one back in the wrong spot. Okay. Okay, that's 4 and 1, so they're in the right spot right there. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of my gloves. That out of the way. I'll take my first strap and spread it out a little bit more, make it easier to put on. Okay. All right. Get my first clamp there. One right there. One right there. One right there. And then we'll tighten up. Tighten up the strap. Okay. This is just in general. We'll do some finessing here in just a second. And wipe that off. Alright. Now we'll take the second strap. Okay, so now I want to try to pick this all up out of the box. Clamps. Move them over here. Those out of the way. Now we'll take the wet rag, and again I apologize for my shoulder and my arms and everything being in the way, but so now start cleaning up the squeeze out. Okay. Alright, so now we'll start with some finessing. Let me get my clamp, my square. Make sure that everything is square. That's looking pretty good there. That's looking pretty good there. That's pretty good there. Out just a little bit here. So, yep, I can see it back here. So I'm gonna bring that one out. There we go. That'll work. It's getting there. Gotta work fairly quick. Okay, this overall is looking pretty good. Let's wipe down this glue out, squeeze out right there. Okay. So far, I'm fairly happy with what I'm seeing. So, next thing to do is lay it back down, and then we're going to gingerly tap everything back in place. Get these edges square or flush, word I'm looking for. Okay. So, let me get my little block of wood. That's the one thing I didn't get, was a little block of hardwood and my hammer. So what I want to do is just tap it down flush. There we go. Pretty good. It's not going to get perfectly flush, probably not, but that's okay. it will be close enough that I can sand it. And we'll get it cleaned up right there. So, okay, so now let's check square again. Nothing too bad. That's looking good. That's looking good. That's looking pretty good. So, all right, let's take it to the back. We'll look back here. And we'll see how everything looks here. Come on, boys, a little cooperation. There we go. There we go. Yep, it's all looking okay. Getting that glue up. Don't fret about the wet rag affecting the glue. That is the manufacturer's method for cleaning up the glue is a damp cloth. I do this on all of my cutting boards, so not to fret about that. So looking pretty good. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my 23 gauge brad nailer and put me a battery in it. Got nails. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shoot a brad nail right there and one right there. Those are going to help hold it in place. Do one right there, one right there. We spin this around. Let me get this over here where y'all can see what I'm doing. So, brad nail right there. Let's see. Let me push that box out just a little bit. That'll do it. One right there. One right there. And one right there. Now, the reason that I use those little 23 gauge brad nails is because they are small. They don't leave, I just spilled my water. They don't leave a big protruding hole in the wood. And it's easier for me to blend all that in. So, one of the things that I like to do in all my projects when I'm doing a lot of major sanding and cleaning up and whatnot, all the sanding that I did on the board, cleaning up the inside of them, I keep the sawdust. And with that sawdust, let's see if all that sawdust is in there. And then I can mix that up with glue, and it's a perfect filler, blends right in, and helps me hide my glue spots. So, we will do that. So, this is going to be a wrap for this video. We're going to go ahead and call this one done. And so when we come back, we'll be taking this out of the glue, or out of the clamps rather, and we'll clean up what glue we didn't get cleaned up. And then we will continue on with the rest of the work that we have to do on it, which is I need to make the trim for the front of the board. I need to cut the shelf to fit. Oh, not front of the board, I'm sorry, front of the box. I need to make the trim to fit the front of the box, and then I need to cut the shelf to fit inside the slots here and fine sand that so that it's a smooth drop-in fit. So until the next video comes around, if you would, you know the drill. Hug all your family and friends. Let them know you love them. And God bless.